Welcome to the Creative Process, Collection 3, Episode 3, Outlaw Country. 6 steps to combining multiple takes into a single master take. This week we're going to turn 4 bass takes into 1 master take. But first, coffee. Love my coffee. The sections in this week's video are the 6 steps. Let's determine what the steps are before we try and take them. Everyone is equal. Gain stage the 4 takes. Mistake Bible. Listen to each take and catalog the mistakes in it. Use automatons. We're going to use mute automation in order to ensure that none of the mistakes make it into the final take. Which take where? On a section by section basis. Determine which take sounds best and use that take. Smooth transitioner. Can you hear an audible change when we change from one take to another? Make a fake take. We're going to export a WAV file from DAW in order to create a file that we can import into our final session as the bass take. The 6 steps. There are 3 things you should have already done before you attempt to take step 1. Number 1, you should have written a song. Number 2, you should have recorded multiple takes of at least one of the instruments in that song. Number 3, you should have set up a session in your DAW with 1 track for each take that you have and added a blank mute automation track to each of those tracks. Everyone's equal. Step 1, gain stage it. Make everything the same volume. Pick a dB level and gain stage it so that your maximum is right around that level. Create a mistake Bible. Just go through and catalog the mistakes in each take. Copy down the measure it starts and the measure it ends. Use automatons. This is where we're going to start using those mute tracks you put in there. Which take where? Now that we've pulled out all the mistakes, when we have multiple good takes on a section, how are we going to determine which take to use? Smooth transitioner. Now that I've built in all these mute automations to switch between the takes, I need to listen throughout the whole thing and make sure that there is no place where I can hear an audible difference when those changes are happening. Make a fake take. We're just going to export this file to a WAV file now that we've got all this work done on it so that we don't have this processing power being used up on our actual mix. Alright, so as you can see, I have a project set up. I have all 4 bass takes in here. I also have the drums in here because I need to hear them play against the drums to decide which one I like best. And I have section markers for each section of the song. The first step in mixing all of your takes into a master take or a final take is to gain stage them. You want to make them all the same volume. So I use -18 in Reaper. When you're gain staging, you can really use any plugin for this. They make plugins just for it. I have found what works best for me is to just use the Reaper built-in EQ plugin, and then I don't do anything with the EQ, I simply adjust the gain. And this works well because this particular plugin doesn't color the sound at all. So what I do is I select a loud part of the song, and then I loop on that part, and I adjust my gain until I have the level I want. It's -18.7 is the loudest part. That's a little bit soft, so I'll edge this up just a hair. Now my peak's at -18.2. That's close enough. And I'm simply going to do that for all 4 takes. Step 2 is to create what I call a mistake Bible. Here is the mistake Bible for the drums. Basically, to build this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to each take, and I'm simply going to note the start and end measures of each mistake. For bass, I've already done take 1, and we're going to do take 2, so I mute everything except the take that I want to hear, and I just play it and listen. You hear that right there on beat 3? So that's our first mistake, is on measure 6, and it ends on 7. Listen to that again. Hear that, how loose that is on beats 3 and 4?
Oh, and there's another one. So measure 14 is real loose on beats 3 and 4. And then in measure 16, I forget to do the note changes on beats 3 and 4. That one is going to be 14 through 17. I already did this once, so I happen to know that's the last mistake on this take, so we're going to go ahead and stop there. But you do that for all 4 takes, and then when we're done, we'll have something that looks like this. So step 3 is we want to use those mute automation tracks to mute all these spots. So I'll show you take 2 since it has the most. So I go to measure 6, and the same with the end. And then we're just going to mute that spot. The next one is out at measure 14 through 17. And then we just continue to do that for every mistake in here. Another thing I like to do while I'm doing this is anywhere the instrument's actually not playing at all, I'm just going to go ahead and mute all the tracks so that that's nice and clean. But the bass is easy, it plays everywhere except the count in. And that's step 3. Now for step 4, I do this by the section, you can do it by the measure, you can get all the way down to doing this by the beat, but you'll drive yourself crazy doing that. So I just do it by the section. So I select the section, and then we just listen to all of them and decide which one we like best. Beat 4 of measure 1, bass is a little ahead. Beat 4 of measure 2 right here is way ahead. And on take 4, that first measure was really quiet. I don't know why I played so softly, but it's either going to be 1 or 3. So when I get it down to 2, here's what I do. I put them both on, I pan 1 hard left and 1 hard right. Beat 4 of measure 2, 1 is way more in sync than 3 is. So we're gonna go with take 1 for this section. Put my markers in at the beginning and ending of the section on every track. And then I mute all the ones I don't want and leave that one be the only one unmuted. I continue to do that for every section of the song, and when I'm done, I get something that looks like this. And as you can see, I only have 1 take playing at a time the whole way through the song. Whichever one's up like this is the one that's turned on. Step 5 is to just listen to the whole thing and make sure that the transitions between the different takes all go smoothly. Just went from take 1 to take 3, didn't hear anything weird. Take 3 to take 4 and I didn't hear anything weird. Let me explain this to you. The song's gonna end by just all the instruments holding out their last note. I wanted the bass to be nice and strong for that, so I decided to turn 2 of the takes on, but pan them, 1 left and 1 right. So I threw these pan automations in here to take care of that. And the reason I'm using take 2 and take 3 is because they have the loudest signals. To do is export this so that I get a single file. I'm going to use a 48/8 sample rate because that's what they were recorded with, and I am going to convert it to mono. Make the final take be as much like the individual takes as possible as far as its structure and its setup and all that. I just want to remove the mistakes and volume balance them. And then I go over into my actual project, which looks something like this. And then I just insert the file onto that track. So I just play it. that's it. Combining multiple takes into a master take in 6 steps.
So what do you think? Starting to get some Outlaw Country up in here? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and
Ring my bell, baby.
next time we'll throw some more instruments into the mix. Maybe get that build going on a little more. Thanks for watching. Stay happy. Stay healthy. God bless. Have a great week, everybody.